thought that I was humble, you know. They say when you shine and you grind that they afraid of that. You're so bright, you're so tight, and they be hating that. The top's so far from the bottom to be exact, but the bottom get you ready to fight for the top.
All right, guys, so we are back for another episode of SoulTrust Podcast. It's been a minute, but we are here once again. And today we're going to go ahead and dive into some deeper topics. We took some time to really select the topics for today, and we made sure we picked up some good, juicy topics. So thank you guys again for joining us for another episode. And let's get right back to it like we just never left, you know, because it's kind of like one of those things where like you haven't hung out with a friend, but nothing's changed. Everything's still the same. I mean, there's things that change, but the relationship's still there. So,
but the vibes,
our podcast, is
the
still
vibes
here.
are there.
Yeah.
The podcast vibes are still here.
Everything's still intact and rolling. If anything, there's been a couple of upgrades, so it's on another level.
It's what they say. We're back and we're better.
That's right.
Let's go.
All right, so I'm Raul, if you're new to our podcast, and this is my wife, Amanda.
I am me.
We are the official SoulTrust Podcast, baby.
Yes, let's go.
All right, let's get it. So let's go ahead and jump straight to the podcast topics of the day today. You want to go ahead and get started? You could select the first one, and then we're just going to go back and forth. And, you know, we'll probably maybe come up with a few things along the lines if it's related to whatever topics it is. But as we proceed with this episode, I mean, we're interested in knowing your guys' input and your opinions. You know, feel free to leave comments, write something that stuck out to you, you know, like let us know what stuck out to you from this episode, what topic was your favorite, and if you have any suggestions for any other topics that you guys would like to see us talk about, I mean, just write them down there, and then, you know, we'll definitely be looking at those comments and keeping those in mind for the next episode. So don't be shy. Go ahead and leave something. All right.
Also, let us know where you guys are from, where you guys are watching, and where you guys are from, because that's always fun to know. But anyways, so first of all, I want to start it off by, you know, we've been a little absent. So what have we been up to? What have you been up to? What have I been up to? And what's going on? What's the vibes? What you been doing?
You could kickstart it.
Oh, for me,
give me a little time to think about it.
So right now I'm in a very exciting, exhausting time in my life. We are parents of 5, so we currently started homeschooling our son. So this is like less than 2 weeks, brand new. We have a 14-month-old that's home with us. So we have 2 kids right now home with us out of the 5 kids that we have. So it's always busy. Nevertheless, it's always busy. But it's been exciting, and also we're building during this time. So I'm developing a community that is faith-based. So I have a community of women that we just talk about our relationships, our motherhood, and just support each other in a godly way. So I'm really excited. That really has been my focus the last, off and on couple months, but it's been a beautiful blessing, and I'm really, really excited to see what's going to come out of it. So I'm developing that and just raising my family, raising my kids, and getting inspiration from my husband every single day, because look at him. Look at him. I feel like sometimes I have to keep up with him, but hey, I'm here. Okay. Don't leave me out of the race. I'm here. But what have you been up to?
Well, before you end it, what is this movement called, or what is this group called?
Oh,
you want to introduce it officially to everybody?
Yes, thank you. So the Instagram is Lumina Impact. So Lumina is my business.
Hold up. Stop and go and follow that on Instagram real quick.
Please.
Can you just give him a couple seconds? All right.
Let's do this. So Lumina Impact. So I created Lumina, like luminous, which is the light. So I believe that women, Christians in general, but I'm choosing to dive into women and mothers. we are the light of the world. So as Christians, we are the light of the world, but I want to emphasize women and mothers because we bring so much value and purpose. And in my own journey, I have forgot that I am the light and I hold so much power. So I want to reinvent that to other women and also, continue keeping myself accountable and understanding that because I never want to forget that I am the light of my family. I am the light in this world. I am the light and I want to live in that. I want to be, I want to display that beautifully. So that's my passion behind Lumina. I love it. It's my business. It's my baby. It's everything I desire to be. Like there's this thing that when we were younger, they used to ask, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do? Right? So you don't have to worry about working at a store, working here, working there to provide. What would you do? Like, this is it. This is what I would do is impact other women, uplift each other. Iron sharpens iron, and just uplift and spread the word and have fun doing it.
I like the ring that it has, like Lumina Impact.
Yeah, it's a little sexy. I'm not going to lie. It's a little sexy.
The name itself has, I love the fact that it says impact because right then and there, it's already giving you pretty good context as far as like what the mission is. It's creating an impact and illuminating, like it's really dope. I like it. And I think the whole thing of it, I liked how it's a community of like women getting together to just kind of have a strong community of women because I think it's important. There's a lot of good that's going to come out of that. I love that.
Thank you. And
so make sure y'all tune into that for real.
And God bless my movement because it's a tiny little mustard seed, but it will grow and it will become something great. And anything that glorifies the Lord is going to be blessed. So I'm excited for it.
What I like about the whole Lumina Impact is how it has the purpose already on the name, like impact, just making like an impact and illuminating like the Lumina. I think it's a very clever, dope name. It has a really nice ring to it. And I think the whole idea behind of creating a group for women it's a really dope movement, just kind of creating that community with women unity. It's amazing. And I'm excited to see what comes from it. So even when you started putting that together, I thought that was a great idea. And just, I'm excited to see it grow as you continue to keep building it. And then, just having those women join the group, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
So, I love that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. As far as what I've been up to, I don't know. I feel like I'm always doing a lot of different things. I got my eggs in a lot of different baskets, but one of the recent ones that I've been doing is just starting a new diet. I had a friend online that reached out and was telling me if I was interested in it. And, when he asked, I was just like, you know what? Screw it. I think, let's just do it. There's just kind of, he reached out and I said, I'm gonna just jump on it. Like, let's try it. So it's something that I always wanted to do. So the fact that he just reached out and was asking me if I was interested, I was like, yeah, man, let's do it. So then he started, we had a phone call and then he just started breaking it down and telling me how he systemizes and everything. And his whole diet thing is just based on like kind of just getting in good shape without having to kill yourself in the gym and really taking care of yourself, eating healthy and eating good, which is, I would consider, I don't think I ever got out of hand where I really let myself loose or like loose. I wouldn't let myself go too far out, like where I just gained a bunch of weight. I think I always kind of monitored, but I was like, you know what, this is going to be a good challenge. It's going to be interesting, but I'll tell you this, it's been super difficult, but I kind of like the fact that I'm being challenged on my discipline and really, it's super challenging. It's frustrating. It's difficult, but I'm really enjoying the fact that I'm proving this to myself. I think overall, I think this is something I'm really like pushing. I'm really staying strict on it and just really sticking to the plan because I want to see me accomplish this. Like, I don't want to get started. And that's just like with anything that I start, I always go 100%. So starting this is, I just want to see how far I can take it and, see how that changes and impacts, my day to day and just my mentality and just every aspect in my life. I seen this post today. So it says, being in shape is 10% exercise, or it's like 10% exercise. It's 50% diet and 40% emotions. Like a little while back, I wouldn't understand that. Now it just makes complete sense, and it makes me laugh because it's like, dude, it is emotional. It's intense because you have to control your emotions. You have to control your cravings. You have to really be disciplined in that aspect because you don't really think about it. Like you're spoiled, with eating whatever you want. It's kind of like a luxury, and you indulge in it, right? But not only do you indulge in food, but food also causes a lot of different things in your body that you don't really think
Reacts.
about. Yeah, so like it triggers like endorphins and things in your mind, right? So like in the diet that I'm in, it's like not deficient, but like low in carbs and stuff like that. Like certain things that my diet is based on that I'm experiencing things that I've never dealt with, which is like just having certain like, I don't want to say mood swings, but like mood dips where it's like, dude, I'm frustrated, I'm irritated, I'm like really being challenged because
And
I'm
then
like,
you're really happy when you do get to eat.
yeah. But it's like it's definitely a challenge. But again, I'm sticking to it because I want to see what the benefits are going to be. But it's fun and it's really difficult. But I think I'm going to be locking it in. I think I'm starting to get more used to it. So, anyways, yeah, that's just something new I've been doing. I just really been sticking to it. There's food left and right, and it's just like, nope. I'm just like, nope, I'm not doing it. But yeah, anyways, the whole plan is just basically based on you exercising very little, so it doesn't take too much of your time, and just maintaining like your muscle and your structure, like physically. Just not getting skinny neither. It's nothing like that. So it's like keeping a healthy stature. Aside from that, just I've been able to do some work recently with some hat brands. I'm wearing one of their hats right now with Gallo Fino. And then I just did another one with another hat brand today. But yeah, just, pushing the business, doing, the same old media stuff, pushing the media, the marketing, and just, I would say just the usual of just like self-developing and growing. One of the big ones that we've both been doing is just really growing spiritually. So just growing our faith. I think right now, there's a lot of growth taking place. And that's always like our thing. That's like what we really focus on, really growing. But right now, I would say spiritually, I feel like I'm doing a lot of spiritual growth, physical growth, mental growth, and just growing my patience too. In different ways. But slowing things down is a huge one recently.
Major.
Getting better clarity on certain things and just kind of repositioning. I think right now in this chapter that we're currently in, especially for me, myself, it's that repositioning and getting that clarity, Yeah, so that's a little bit of update on where I'm at and what I have going on. A little bit on both of us, actually. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that's somewhat like just kind of catching up where we're at, but you still have to choose a topic. So you want to go ahead and choose the first topic? That wasn't really a topic. That was just kind of like
Updates. Yeah.
update, catching up with everybody.
But what have you guys been up to? Like, since we've been gone, what have you guys been doing? Have you guys been growing? Have you guys been dieting? Have you guys been making babies? Like, what you guys doing? Hey. Okay.
You've been multiplying?
That bank? You've been multiplying that bank?
Or that family?
Yes.
All right, what you got? We got a couple topics, so which one sticks out to you that you want to jump to straight?
Okay, so this one, how keeping God at the center transforms our relationship. So this is more for people who are in a relationship, in a boyfriend-girlfriend situation, in a husband-wife situation. How do we grow our faith and give each other grace? So
what's your take on it?
So my take on it is, the first thing that comes to my mind really is like prayer. Like that's been the major key. Like if you want to biohack your marriage, your relationship, pray together. Like it builds so much like intimacy with your partner. You connect, you could be vulnerable, you get deep. I think if you want to, I mean, thinking about it, if you want to grow with a friendship, like what I'm doing with my community, it's going to be based on that, which is going to build more relationships, deeper connections. But on a relationship level, prayer has been one of the biggest things that have impacted our relationship and our spiritual growth, and getting us connected to God and getting us closer to each other. So I think definitely being in prayer. So we started praying in the night. And really we just started praying whenever. So it could be as before the podcast, for an example, we did a small little prayer, like God acknowledges that and he sees it, he values it. And I think the fact that we're placing the intention on God and removing ourselves speaks volume. And, I want to bring that to your opinion. What do you think?
Kind of piggyback on what you're saying. Jumping into prayer, just kind of the way I see it is you take a step back, and when you speak within the prayer, it's like you tap into like another side within you, and you're tapping into like just, God's energy in a sense. And it just brings a whole nother essence to that moment. Like when you pray for like wisdom, for direction, guidance, strength, and things like that,
Protection.
and you truly believe in that, and you move with the faith, I think it makes a big difference. It helps you to pull yourself away from that moment that you may, whatever it may be. Like if either it's like a difficult moment, or it's a moment of like, you need some clarity, or whatever the case is, right? You kind of pause for a second, you pull yourself away from that scenario, and you're kind of like looking at the scenario from a different lens, from a different angle. And then, you're reaching out to God for that assistance, or just even being grateful, just giving grace to God, for different things. I would say prayer is powerful in that sense, because God will hear you out, and he will give you, help you with what you're seeking or in need of. And I think also, like, the beautiful thing about prayer is when you pray and you're like practice gratitude, I think it really changes and shifts your energy in that moment, and it really brings you back to like just being grateful. And when you're walking in grace and that light of gratefulness, I think it shifts everything. It makes a big difference. So I think prayer is a good one. I would agree with you.
So it's definitely transformed our relationships in many different levels. And like I said, I feel like if you want to get connected with your partner, pray together, because it really does.
Yeah, it's like having the faith to just builds that strength and that unity. And like you're saying, there's a connection when you pray together. And having the faith, I mean, it gives you that strength, that endurance, and it brings a whole nother element to the marriage, to the relationships, whether, it's in our marriage or even with our parents, family, other.
I mean, if you think about it, I feel like it's relationships in general, because I could even relate it to like our children, like, having that, it's so important, like having that with your children, because
100%. I would say it makes a big difference, like you're saying, with the relationships, because like with our children, our family, or just anybody, I think, it's really impactful. Like I had a mastermind with Jose, and I remember this mastermind, we went out to San Diego, and I didn't know we were gonna have a prayer before the mastermind, and it was really nice to have everybody huddle up, all the guys. It was a group of us, and we huddled up, and one of the guys, I think it was Sergio, he made a prayer, and it was a special moment. I felt like everybody really bonded and connected more through that prayer, which was something I wasn't expecting. I hadn't experienced like with a group of men like that. So I would say that, prayer helps, build those connections as well. All right. So for the topic that I'm going to go with is, what was it again? Sharing the testimony of what God has done, the importance of doing that. So I would say it's important to share your testimony because there's this misconception that people have. They tend to get judgy because they're like, oh, who do you think you are now that you're all Christian, right? Or they'll judge you. But what they don't understand is like there's a testimony behind this. It's this is who I am now. And that's where like when you give yourself to Christ, it's like
You're going to be
takes
transformed.
place, right?
Yeah.
So a death takes place where you die to your old self and you're born in a new light. And so I think that's something that people take out of context, and you know they see it in a different way, and they'll judge, right? But what they fail to see is that the power behind a testimony is like, even when you hear other people's testimony, it's like it's powerful because you're like, dang, that person was able to be touched by God, and look how much his life has changed. And that's impactful in so many ways because there's so many people that could possibly relate to that person's testimony and view it like, man, if that person was able to do that and look what God did to that person, it sparks curiosity from those other people to say, man, like, you know, can God help me out like that? You know, and it helps to open people's eyes to see what God can possibly do for their lives. That's kind of how I see it. And I think I see it in a way where you could outreach and help other people through your own testimony and bring people or lead people towards God, right? That's what I would say. What's your take on it?
Well, I mean, it's biblical to share your testimonies. And I think that it has been powerful. I remember so many stories, so many different scenarios that I could think of on the top of my head, which I think I've shared this before, but like I have personally impacted so many people's lives just by my story and how I came up, and my dad's story, my family story, and just the way that, you know, we story tell our testimony. And it's a part of being creative. It's a part of sharing and relating with others, and, you know, in the spirit of trying to help somebody and uplift them, or maybe even not even thinking that you're doing that, but that's what's happening. You know, there was a story where I shared a testimony, not thinking nothing. I just felt God led me to this conversation, and I didn't even know it was impacting this particular person. And her husband came up to me like weeks later and was like, whatever conversation you had with my wife, thank you and God bless you, because it has changed her life. Like literally a spirit has like left her and she has been transformed in God. And whatever it is that you said to her, like, thank you so much for that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And, you know, that was like super powerful. That will stick with me probably to the end of my life, you know, because I was really amazed by me sharing and being vulnerable and opening up, how much that changed somebody's life, you know. And that's what we're here for, is to like, I think that's what God intended us to do, which is like share the gospel, change people's lives, you know, share, lead people to the Lord.
All right, one of the cameras died, so
We ain't even gonna lie.
yeah, one of them died, so we kind of forgot where we left off. So I picked the last topic, so you want to go ahead and pick one more?
Okay, let's do the last topic.
We're gonna do one more topic. We had a couple, so you guys are gonna have to tune in to the next episode.
Ooh, I got a good one.
Yeah, because we can't squeeze all the topics in, but we got a couple lined up.
We have really good topics coming up. I think the world needs to hear, and I think it would be.
Yeah, we want to open, like, again, we want to really get into some of these topics and just really kind of dig in. This is SoulTrust, so it's like part of our podcast is just to really touch on certain topics and dig deep into some of them, and just kind of let you guys know on our insights and how we view certain things. Again, we just had a conversation about testimony and the power of it. You know, podcasts in this sense, like our podcast is like, we're going to be sharing a lot of stories, you know, and we're hoping that some of these stories are impactful. As you can see, that some of like our mission and the things that we're doing, like Lumina Impact, this podcast, we are also creating it in a sense of like creating some form of impact. Like we want to share our side, our story, our mentality, how we go about things, and just, in the hopes of making a difference for somebody, some of you that are listening. But yeah, all right. So what's the next?
And also, like, just to say, if you guys feel like you guys would like to join in on a podcast episode, let us know. Go ahead and message me or Raul. And, if you guys have some great topics you'd like to talk on, or you want to debate us, let us know. No, I'm just kidding. No, like if there's anybody that would be open to joining our podcast in an episode, I think that would be fun. Want to throw that out there. If God put it on your heart, you want to come and join in on a conversation. It's fun. And I think that would be great. So the next conversation is going to be about becoming who God called you to be. Growing with purpose and identity. So I think it's important to say, like, we may not all know what our purpose is, what we're doing, where God is going to place us. But what we do know is that for our story is our purpose is to raise our family, to have our identity in Christ, to impact other people's lives, to be committed to each other in our marriage, in our family. And that's what stands out to me. What about you?
There was 2 words that you mentioned. What was it? Purpose and identity?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like purpose because I feel like when you carry a purpose, it keeps you going. Mm-hmm. When times get tough, what keeps you going is having that purpose. When, perhaps maybe you don't want to keep doing something, but because you have a purpose, again, it just carries you. Your identity is important, but it's even more important when you have an identity with Christ, right? Mm-hmm. Which comes with a big price, because it's not easy. It's hard, right? Like, let's say, to give you a quick example, it's like, let's say, making the commitment of not cussing anymore. You could be so used to just cursing and cussing at people, or like we recently found out that in the Bible it says, not to call somebody else a fool. And it's like, man, I grew up calling people, hey, what's up, fool? So I don't know, just to keep it a little fun and light. But purpose, very important. Identity, very important, because I think identity is like your integrity, right? Your foundation. And if your identity is set in Christ, it builds you that foundation of where to grow from. And I think that foundation is just super sturdy. And that purpose is more of like that drive that just keeps it growing. It's like the fuel of just growing. So you got the foundation and then you got the fuel. So the foundation, I would say the identity is like the foundation. That's super important. And then the fuel is the purpose. So that's kind of how I see it.
And when you have an identity crisis, that's because your identity is in Christ. Bars.
Did you just come up with that?
Yes, I did.
That's dope. That's clean. Yeah. All right. So that sums up our episode for today. Once again, thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate you stopping by and listening in on these topics and conversations. And we should be having some guests appearing soon. We have been talking about this, so not sure when, and not knowing how many more episodes till we get a guest. It could be the next one, who knows? But yeah, anyways, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for stopping by, and this is SoulTrust Podcast. Back at you again. So peace out.
And thank you guys for joining. Until the next one.
Come on, man.
Let's go.